What's up, everybody? Today, we're going to be talking about motivation and when you're struggling to get into the gym or get into a cardio session or just struggling to do anything in your everyday life, but mostly related to our fitness goals. We'll break down some of the psychology and how to get yourself moving even when you don't feel like it. Let's get to it. So what's motivation, first of all? Motivation is the desire to do something, often driven by goals, rewards, or a sense of purpose. Two main types of motivation are internal and external, or intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsically rewarding being something that just feels good for the sake of doing it. Perhaps this thing is aligned with your deeper values, but it is internally rewarding. And then extrinsic motivator would be something like money. So if you were to engage in any kind of a competition and the sole driver behind the reason you're doing that is financial, that is an extrinsic reward. Now, research does show that relying on intrinsic motivators is going to be better than relying on extrinsic motivators in the long run if we want sustained change. So what are some things people get wrong about motivation? A few things. Let me know if this sounds familiar. Once I feel motivated, then I'll engage in X, Y, or Z behavior. Now, that is exactly backwards. Let's talk about the cognitive triangle. So the cognitive triangle in cognitive behavioral therapy outlines that thoughts, feelings, and behaviors interact. Generally speaking, it goes, your thoughts impact your feelings, which impact your behaviors. Now, linking this to motivation, I think people rely too much on feeling a certain way before they behave, when in reality, you need to flip that on your head. With thoughts, feelings, and behaviors directly impact our feelings, our emotions, even our motivations and thoughts as much, if not more, than our thoughts and feelings impact our behaviors. If you wait on motivation, you'll be most likely waiting forever. Motivation is like a house. You build it brick by brick, and you gain that motivation by looking backwards at each brick that you've laid. As you build your house, you become more motivated as you look back at your past actions. This in turn also increases our competence for an activity, which can also be motivating in and of itself. So how do we apply this to bodybuilding or fitness setting? I'm going to steal the 2-minute rule from James Clear. Essentially, his 2-minute rule is set up an activity so that it only takes 2 minutes, or you can begin engaging in the first 2 minutes of that activity. The reason for this is that beginning an activity is generally the hardest thing to begin doing. And by only focusing on the first 2 minutes of an activity, we sort of shortcut our brain's wiring so that we can engage in the entire activity. So for something like bodybuilding, let's say if you're cutting and you're deep into your cut and you're dreading your cardio sessions, commit to the first 2 minutes of cardio. And if after 2 minutes you want to get off the cardio machine, well then get off the cardio machine. However, once you are on that machine, you will find that it is a lot easier to complete the task. Then, once you're on the machine and you get going and you realize you're not going to quit after 2 minutes, let's say you have a 30-minute cardio session, break that up into milestones or checkpoints. Now, you can have 3 10-minute checkpoints, or you can have 5 6-minute checkpoints. Whatever you like. Doesn't even have to be those numbers. Then, if you can find some way to celebrate each of those checkpoints while you're doing it, it will be even better for your motivation during the activity. Now, celebrating that could be switching songs, finding your favorite podcast, doing something small to reward yourself in the moment. However, the reward can also come at the end of the activity. Now, whether that's your post-workout shake or you structure your workouts and meals in such a way that you get a meal immediately post, that would be another way to sort of reward the activity. So, the practical tip, to become motivated, you must begin building your house. You must begin laying your bricks. You must begin feeling more competent in the activity that you are doing. So you should focus on the first 2 minutes of any activity to get going. And as you complete more and more and more of that set activity, your competence go up and your motivation will go up as well. Alrighty, folks, that's it for this episode on motivation and how to begin even when you feel stuck, even when you don't want to. Check out the rest of our Site Prep series, and I'll catch you all next time.